I'm not gonna like it's been the greatest thing, but as far as like the positives of it, I mean, I just been in the studio a lot more lately, type stuff. You know, I'm not really at work or nothing like that, so literally, I'm just in the studio, whatever, recording all the time with the homies and all that. You know, we're just getting stuff done. I wouldn't say it affected me negatively. The only thing it really affected negatively was like maybe like shows. I had a lot of shows like lined up, and yeah, it just didn't come to fruition because of COVID and all that. So, I mean, it really made me like look into the world in a different way, type thing, and because I mean, everybody's kind of like inside. You could focus on a lot more of like the things around you, I would say. There's not many people going here and this and this and that and all that. Like you really could focus a lot more. So I would say that kind of inspired me more. Like I'll look at something, I'm like, damn, I never really noticed this like that. You know, going outside. So I was excited type stuff because it really helped me up my game on social media. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's not like I know everything about social media, but like it really gave me time to study. Let me see how this works. Let me see how that works, and see how the people gravitate towards it. Like I mean, social media is just the way I look at it as is it's a big marketing platform type stuff, and it's a great way to market yourself and to connect with those fans you can't necessarily see face to face all the time. So that's what that's shit like. Yeah. I know, like growing up, I'm pretty much, I would like to say I'm from like all over type stuff. I mean, I lived in different burbs. I lived in the city, and I live in the city right now, and I live like out west right now. But I like to say I'm from out north because pretty much everywhere I live is from the north side type thing. Growing up, I have Caribbean parents type stuff. So like growing up in the house, we listen to like a lot of dance hall, rap, reggae, or whatever. I got an older brother. He's like 7 years older than me, so he'll put me on. Like I remember like the G Unit area, all that like really influenced me type stuff. Like the first amount of hip hop I ever really listened to was like G Unit. I used to be like addicted to 50 Cent back in the day. So that's where the rap really comes from. And I mean, like as far as like influences, like I mean like Kanye West, ASAP Rocky, all those guys, like I grew up listening to them, and that really like, you know, garnered my sound type stuff. I would say, I mean, watching my favorite artists, I know like my top 5, there's always a pattern with all those guys. They literally elevated their sound of somewhere. They literally were like the first person to sound like this and the first person to sound like that. So I know I'm always pushing to be different because I want to be the guy that people look back like 20 years like damn, he was Cash, that was the first person to do that. And yeah, there's a lot of people out here that want to make the same music that sounds like other people. But I mean, if you really want to be remembered and live forever and have a legacy, you got to be different. You can't just be out here making music that sounds like other people because you're just going to be boxed up. Oh, he sounded like this, he sounded like that. I mean, there's people that can have their own spin on it, maybe, but even the spin, it's still different in some way. But I don't know, I want to be remembered forever. So I got to like, make sure it's different from everybody else. I mean, as far as like plans of the year or whatever, I got my cameraman Slimy Visuals, and we just want to elevate on the visual side of everything. I want to put out as much like visuals as possible and as much like different visuals as possible. And I'd say there's a lot of music coming up. Like I got an EP dropping like Valentine's Day. It's called Girls Are Drugs or whatever. That's going to be pretty hard. And as far as like your very last question, I mean, I'm into fashion. I want to step into the fashion world at some point, to be honest, when this music stuff is like kind of calmed down or whatever. At some point I could focus on that